Two, if you're from America and don't speak a second language. My name is Yes, and I'm joined today by the booker for Turmoil, Jake. Oh, and the commentator for most of our stuff, Jake Allen.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
I forget about that all the time.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
and also coming in at number one in my heart, and number one tonight, the current living legend and also the booker for not the GM, not the booker, the GM for Turmoil, Nate Ortiz. Hi.
Salutations.
Okay, so Dupree's not joining us today because he has other things to do. So this time we're gonna, again, yesterday we wasn't super long, so we're gonna try to do it again today. Hopefully we can break that record and keep it succinct. So first things first, wonderful show. It came in at roughly, I think the last call was 2 hours and 29 minutes, and that's including all of the extra like ads and stuff that we had on the video. So that's kind of high key amazing on that front. So that's basically what 2.5 and 2.5 is what 5 hours total. Is something like that, or am I crazy?
Good math. You're good.
Yeah,
It's a little over that. Yeah, it's like
so
5:15.
just to be an asshole about it, there was a point in time where basically we would have like, I don't know, we would have that long of a show, and it was miserable. I was miserable. So it's just good to see that isn't the case now. So let's kick things off and move right along. The first match was the steel cage match between Colin Locke and the defending champion Trey Goldens. Any thoughts on this? Kick it to Jake Allen.
There's a lot of thoughts.
Sure.
There's a lot of thoughts for all the matches. The ending of this match was definitely the best part. But they had a good pace to start with. I know you usually like to start with like multi-man chaos or whatever, but having a title on the line and jumping right back into the action, it was a good transition from night one to night two, and that finish was fucking fantastic. Missing the punch that put him down in that tag team match and hitting him with the scoop to regain the title. I said I had a lot to say about it, but I really don't. It was really good.
Nate.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Like, it was weird because it didn't really feel like a cage match to me. Just because, like, it wasn't used that much, but it's no fault of them.
Right.
It was just, that's kind of the nature of the beast with that match. So, like, it was good, and like you said, the finish was awesome. Because it was one of those things where it was like, oh, if Trey would have done his 3-inch spear, he probably would have won. But he went for the punch, and he missed it.
I think the fact that he did serve the story well. The cage was there to like have like a no escape thing, because obviously they didn't try and escape because that was part of the stipulation. It was pin or submit only. But him going for the spear maybe would have been in his better interest, but I'm glad he didn't because it served the story that they had been telling up to this point a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
So my only thought on it was essentially, you know what? Maybe it's just that I need to have more alcohol in me, or maybe we're reaching that critical point where I don't have anything to complain about, so all of this is downhill from here. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not sure I've been in this situation before. I'm trying to think if I have, and because I'm old and my brain doesn't work, I can't really recollect I've ever been that. Like, I think the closest I've been is absentee dad sensation, which is kind of like, oh, everything's fine, it's great, but it's not. But this is actually legitimately solid. I really don't have anything to bitch about on the show. I'm trying to even be hypercritical, and I really don't have much. So for this match, it served its purpose. It was a hot opening. My only complaint was to Colin Locke or whoever, if you're going to have a stip, let me know so I can adjust ahead of time. And then Jake's like, oh, well, we did. And basically it was just a message that I never confirmed. So my bad, I guess.
No, they told me, and then I actually, in this case, I did tell you and you just missed it, but in other cases it has happened where people will tell me something and I don't want to spoil it for you because I want this like storyline to do it. You had made the graphic before they announced it on Riot, so then when they announced it, you're like, why did nobody fucking tell me? I wasted my time.
Yeah.
So you had to make some changes.
I did. So the only complaint about this
just
match
trying
is
to keep your joy, man.
there was not it's fine. There was not much use of the cage, but even then it was a good fucking match. It was very in your face, and the best part is it didn't overstay its welcome, which is, again, I'm loving people not overstaying their welcome. we had riots where they would have 30-minute matches and nobody cared and whatever. These people are going for it. They're good. It's not taking up too much time. It's not wasting my intelligence. It's succinct. So love the finish. Love the match. Colin Locke is building himself a nice resume, a nice career, as you will, with his other endeavors and match itself. So he's now a 2-time rookie as an international champion and now a regular wrestler as an international champion. Only place to go for Colin now is down. So that's basically it. That was a joke and nobody laughed, so I guess it wasn't funny. Anyway, moving along. Jesus Christ, I'm juice no more. So we had the back. I'm just going from memory. I'm probably gonna be incorrect, but next was the Baxter segment, right? Yes, no, maybe so. Hopefully,
I don't remember.
I
yeah,
don't remember.
because I can't even check because my YouTube upload was all fucking discombobulated. So so we'll just talk about it in high order. So yeah. So the next thing was the Baxter return. I had to fix it because fucking I don't know why. The actual in-ring was fine, but the entrance had the borders, so I had to fix that myself. You're welcome, Baxter. It was good to see Baxter show up on night 1, but I made the mistake of not reading ahead of time or watching the video ahead of time. So once I saw that he mentioned Hunter McIntyre, I was like, oh well, I guess that can't go on the first night. It has to be number 2, but originally it was going to open the show because it's like, hey, pirate theme, and Chris is their original rated superstar. So any thoughts on this? Any quick thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, I'm glad that it connected to night 1. They coordinated that well with the Hunter McIntyre night 1 and then the response on night 2. I did not know that the Baxter Davy Jones thing was going to be like an alter ego dynamic. I thought Chris Baxter was just gone, but it looks like he's got control over that because was talking like he's like, oh, I brought Davy Jones here to do damage. So that's a pretty interesting dynamic. I didn't expect to see that. I just hope that we can get that match out of the way before Hunter inevitably fucks off again. But until then, they did a good job for this show.
I was just happy to see Baxter on the show. I'm like,
Yeah.
pirate themed show. Bax has to be there.
And rated R superstar was insane.
And the fact it popped me the fact that so many people didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's because Baxter's been that to me forever.
Yeah.
So it was
2008.
nice to see like everybody freak out about that. That was cool.
2008, man. So yeah, I kind of wish there was a match going into it, but I wasn't gonna do the Hunter McIntyre versus thing, that's for sure. And there was, depending on where Domino's fell, there might have been some kind of a rush, but I was like a rush match. But I was like, you don't have to do that anymore. So why even? So I'm just glad he was able to be on the show. That it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me because I definitely wanted him on the show, and I'm glad he's a part of this, and I'm glad he's free of the prison colony, even though he had to come on a fucking rubber raft, but he's here now. Moving along, we have the opening video for Fraser Owen Derek. Loved it. Don't have much to say for it other than it did its job that it was supposed to do, and it shows that we are in the production era, and we have ourselves people who can produce video content, and I'm ecstatic and or elated. Theo, thoughts on this?
Yeah, it was cool. Video was like nothing to complain about. It didn't take forever, and it led right into the match.
Big and beefy. Jake.
Yeah.
It's perfect for viewers who either need a reminder or don't pay a ton of attention to like tertiary storylines. I wish like every single match had a big hype package because they always get me fired up for the match. They very quickly, while you're already in the moment, remind you of the big heavy hitters of that feud, and this hit every single note on that that advice. So I don't know. I think you said Owen put it together, and if he did, fucking props to you, because it was a perfect lead up into the match, and it wasn't 14 minutes, which is great. That's usually the thing that happens when people first make hype packages, is they make them way too long, and wasn't the case. So the match itself was way better, and I know you got.
So speaking of the match,
we'll
segue into the match. Go for it.
Yeah, the match itself. Given the people involved, Fraser had been up to this point just a no nonsense, wrestler guy who stiffs you and beats the shit out of you. Owen is Owen, and everybody is fighting for him so much because he's shown a lot of ambition in such a short time in OCW, and we love that. So we're always going to continue to support it. Upset he won. Or he lost, rather. I wanted him to win. Derek, though, coming out of nowhere, the fact that he spent the last third of that match, like, he would come in and then they would punch him down and, like, roll him out. And that, again, served the story well, because it's been Fraser and Owen and Derek just kind of butting in. And the whole last part of the match was they fight. Derek slides in, gets thrown back out. They fight. Derek slides in, gets thrown back out. And then he comes in and hits a finisher out of nowhere and then gets the pin. So good for the Wolves of Vanguard. Good for Derek, his first pay-per-view win. And he's making sure you hear about it because he changed his Discord name to Pay-Per-View Winner.
Of course.
Relax, rookie. But other than that, like the way they played the match with all the chops and their movesets, they perfectly collected into one big early pay-per-view beefy match. Could have opened the show, honestly, but you made the right choice having a title first.
Yeah, you got to mix and match because that was the only three-way match that we had, or multi-man match. Because remember, we were gonna have like two different tag matches. So I basically compensated, and I think it worked out. Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, the match, it was like entertaining for me. Like as a second match, I wanted to be nitpicky with like the breaking up of the moves that happened, but it didn't feel like it was too much of it, and like the animations and stuff that came out of those breakups were like really cool. And I saw I think it was off of like a dive, like Owen reversed into like some type of suplex thing. I'd never seen that before in the game. That was really cool. And just like it was three big guys having a hoss fight. It was just awesome to watch. I loved it.
So my notes are the breakups annoyed the shit out of me. Actually, no, there was how many? There were like what, 3 or 2 or 4? How many were there?
There were 3. So the one happened. Derek tried to do the power bomb, and then Owen broke it up. And then after he got control again, he tried to do the power bomb to Owen, and Fraser broke it up, which I thought was super funny. And then the other one was Derek tried to do or it was either Derek or Fraser tried to do a suicide dive. And mid-animation, he got hit with a discus clothesline, which was awesome. So, like, I don't have any problem with the breakups whatsoever. Those right there, I know we had the conversation last week, like, when are they okay, when are they not? I didn't feel any of those were none of them were bred of thirst. None of them were bred of, like, being a scumbag. They were all just fun moments, and they played together. So those were good examples of how to do it the right way, in my opinion.
The suicide dive denial I like, and the one where I guess it would count as 2 or 1 or whatever, but he went to do it to Owen, toss him out, and he couldn't because he got broken up. So then he grabbed the other motherfucker and threw him out. That I enjoyed. So yeah, fuck, I can't even bitch about that. It was a good fucking match. If there's one thing to cry about, it was poor Owen was fucking whiffing. That was about
he kept trying to butt in. Let me come on, guy. It was like a full minute.
Come on, man. I want to fight. You want to fight too, man. Let me fight. Can't you have a couple shit? Honestly, can't. It's, we've seen, like, I've seen so much worse, and then in the years coming to, everyone else, we've seen way worse. This is fine. This is great. I'd give this, if we're giving out fucking stars and ratings, I'd give this like maybe a 3.5, maybe even a 4. I was thoroughly fucking entertained, and people were making so much noise in the VP because it was beefy as fuck, and it was just suplexes and slams and fucking chops, and I can't chop you, and then meaty men smacking each other. Stupid Derek win. Fucking great. Which leads us to the FloJo promo. I apparently missed that I was gonna say something I couldn't have said it, but I missed that she fell down the stairs. So when I saw the animation, like, why is that animation? And you basically correct everybody, because everyone was like, huh? I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So she basically concussed, and now we're an unsafe work environment. So we appreciate that one. I like the fire that Flo has, and I look forward to this feud. What I don't look forward to is the inevitable potential defeat, and then the okay. So, but who knows? Who knows? Theo, what you think?
I think you just stole what I was gonna say. I just hope Flo just keeps it going regardless of what happens with the match.
Yeah, this is a really good fucking build. It's a really good fucking build. Jake, as number 2 in this debacle, I guess. What you think?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time, like, I'm not gonna say quietly, like, we're not putting anybody through LED screens or doing some of the crazy shit Imp and I did, but or even me and Valk, but this was kind of a low-key thing, and we have focused most of it on RPs, and Gooch will tell you that I've nitpicked the shit out of this to make sure that it's gone the exact way I want it to, and it sounds like, based on your description, that it has, that FloJo started out with the whole whatever, and then it's slowly, you're building sympathy. That convention promo that FloJo did was fantastic, and then it's got the interweaving where FloJo was having no passion and Tara called her up for it, and now she has passion. So it's trying to build FloJo back up using shoot elements, which I thought was a great way to get her back to where I loved her. Because I was like, FloJo, I was like one of your biggest fans back in the day when you were fighting Dragana for Devil's Night, when it was like 2018, you were jumping off ladders and stuff like, I'll do whatever it takes, I'm FloJo, and I'm like, we got to get you back there instead of you being a mopey dickhead, because nobody likes that. So we used that, and that's what the promo was about. If you didn't read night one, obviously it was very funny that she was coming out super drunk and weird, but you give what the game gives you. FloJo did a great job with the promo and hit all the high points, didn't stay too long, thought it was good.
Basically, she said, I'll kill you, bitch. So here's my little tidbit that no one ever listens to. If you want to sell that for the match, then there'd be a slight move overhaul for that match on FloJo's part. You got to use moves that show more el pasión and aggressiveness and like fire. That's how you get people over in that match. So like to segue into the next match, which is the last man standing. It opened up with Horsey flying across the ring and fucking smacking the shot. That's fire. So that, I'm not saying use that move, but FloJo's gonna have to have a lot of moves that indicate urgency and passion and rage and fire and shit like that. Whether that happens or not, it's not up to me. But that's what I'm saying. That it's a little thing.
Well, FloJo, Gooch has dug such a big hole. It's not going to happen overnight, but this, it's gone great so far. So just stay tuned if you're interested.
Sure. So speaking of into the next match, which is the last man standing match. So I know on one hand, Mateo's like, please don't book me anymore. I can't do the last man standing. The fucking match will take forever. Apparently, they decided to do the match the day of that it was due, and it took them like 4 hours. And the end result is this: it wasn't a bad match, but people don't know how to use stips or do stips, so it wound up being what it was. It was about 20 minutes, following everything. I didn't hate the match, but I'll be honest with you, after watching it once, I went to go make chili afterwards because I wasn't gonna sit through the whole shit again. That's just me. That's not a sign of disrespect, but that's just me being honest. I think it went the way of proper FPR in the sense that after the third time, it's like, all right, we're gonna get the 10 count. Could it not have made it to the third finisher? Yes, but this match basically shows why Mateo is the hardcore guy that he is, and it shows Mac being a tough son of a bitch, and so that part was fine. I think the stip is basically what hindered both of these people. Pitch it to Nate real quick. Thoughts?
Yeah, it was pretty much that. Like the match is balls to the wall from the beginning.
Yeah.
Reversals were gone in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And it was just like, oh, they're gonna go at it, and they did. And like throughout the match, it didn't feel like they were just dragging it out. It was just kind of the rules of the match made it go as long as it did. Like I said in the chat, I was like, that spot where like Mac falls off the ladder through the unmoved table and the flaming table at the same time. Like, that would have been a sick way to finish, but the game just picked him right back up, So there's nothing they can do about that. But they played like it was a clean match. There's no issues there. It's just kind of one of those situations where the cookies just crumbled that way. But they played it fine. I thought it told a good story, and Mateo's been on such a roll these past few months, and Iceman just shows that he's a crazy SOB and he can take a lot of damage, like always.
Jakey.
Yeah, it did start balls to the wall, and then it did slow down quite a bit. I'm not going to blame the stip too much. I know people were going for that, but we have seen last man standing matches, namely myself and Russ Cole earlier this year, that have not been like that. The way the game does last man standing is silly, because if you get a big thing like that, it immediately allows you to basically kick out on each count. So what happened is he gets thrown through the table and he just kicks out at 1. And ideally what you do there is you let it go a couple times to sell. But that's a little contrived. I'm glad he was going for it and being competitive. And then for Horse to dive off the top of the ladder with the bionic elbow was funny. They did lean into the chaos, which I appreciated. It didn't feel like they were trying too hard. Because like one of the spots too, Horsey's like just struggling to get to his feet, and then the Iceman walks over and does the Ric Flair taunt, so it looks like he trips over his leg like mid-match. They're leaning into the ridiculousness, which is that you're gonna get that for a horse match. These are stips. He's the king of hardcore. You just have to be insane and hope for the best. Did go a little bit long, but last man standing, when you're trying to win the match, that'll happen. So 4 finishers is what it took to knock down 3 stomps in the GFY. Good for Horsey. He continues to prove that he is the Stip King.
I gave it 3 stars or 2 in the thing. The 2 that's closer to 3. But here's the funny thing. Even those 20 minutes, that the show itself is still about 2.5 hours. So again, if the show was super long, then this would have a lower rating. So it did what it had to do. Didn't hate it. The next bit I think it might be a KD promo or it might be Mina. Let's just assume it's KD. Kelvin's in the dark calling people sissies. I love Kelvin. That's all I have to say. Jake.
That's all I have to say. Love Kelvin, and I need to book him. I need to book him for Turmoil.
Theo.
Yeah, I loved it. For me, like the atmosphere, the crickets in the background. I was like, did you do this late at night or in the morning before work? Like, I want to know the story behind the story, but it was good. Love KD.
Oh, looking at the chat.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't talk about Hyper Menace Red J.
Sure. What do you think, Jake?
It's several months too late. I still popped on commentary. It would have been bigger had it been done in the right time, but better late than never in a lot of cases. Not going to complain right now. I actually do kind of appreciate that he didn't try and be like, look how cool I am. Like, he's like disgusting. Like, he's revolting to look at. And he's Hyper Mantis Red. He's not supposed to be this cool guy that you want to imitate. He's just this dark weirdo with all these blemishes on his face. And I that's a unique direction, because usually if you go this kind of route, it's like, oh, evil and I'm so cool, and I'm guilty of that too myself, honestly. So I do appreciate the route this took. Maybe this is going into Mantis Blacksmith, but it fits the story that they've been telling the whole time. It's been a little rocky, but they did the OCW thing. They took what they were given and they pivoted into a good direction. So I'm not upset about it.
Theo.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it was just late, but I want to see where it goes from here and what Mantis does with it. Like, if he does something cool with it, then cool, but if it's just like tonight, then it's kind of like, okay. Because like the pop, this was a resolution.
Was there? I couldn't tell.
There was.
A little bit today,
it was slight, but I mean, it was like a disappointed thing, I think, Theo. Like, you might agree, because they saw it and they were like, oh, now it's happening, instead of, holy shit, like, this is supposed to be this big moment. I don't know.
Yeah, because like when he had like the little smoke bomb or whatever at resolution, everybody was like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, it's kind of like that feeling.
So looking at my thing, I'm about half on my alcoholic beverage. So couldn't give a fuck. If they go for a pay-per-view, sure, maybe. End games, I don't know. Moving on. Where we at? Oh, I guess is it the light heavyweight or the Mina V thing? I don't remember.
I think light heavyweight came before Mina.
Okay, so light heavyweight, fucking H2O and Anthony Baker. The video package I like, but I felt like I needed 3D glasses to watch it. But other than that,
it's Baker style.
Yeah, it's fucking. But I have vision problems to begin with, but that actually corrected my vision. No, I enjoyed the match. I'm trying to find shit to complain about. I really can't complain hard. Well, if I want to complain, the video is, fix the fucking ghosting. Get your frames right, guys. Get that shit together. Fucking what are we in 2014, 2014?
Well,
get it fucking together. What?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You gonna argue?
Well, no, I was just gonna say I'm not arguing. I just want to say, like, if you're talking about the way that it was stylized with the 3D
not the style.
thing, that's just Baker's thing. Yeah, the ghosting, that he doesn't have any control over that. The raw footage is ghosting. Like, they did that. That was from Lucian 15. That was almost 5 years ago.
I'm talking about the actual match. The match had ghosting.
The match, the match. That's their fault. I didn't notice any ghosting if there was, but the pre-hype package did have a lot of ghosting. But I'm not going to blame him for that because that was so long ago. If you guys are having trouble with ghosting, fucking Google it. Like, it's a Google away. No matter what editor you're using, it's super easy to fix. Be a problem solver for once in your life. Now the match itself, just to segue into it, it was great. Harvey is so consistently inconsistent, it blows my mind every time. But we have now turned this from being Baker is the jealous friend who's attacking his old guy to H2O is a pompous ass who is now the champion and is rubbing every single thing. He's proving Baker right. Like Baker he started as a villain in the storyline when he attacked him, and now H2O is just proving him right. It's just like Solomon Kane. Like when we were like, oh, Solomon Kane's the bad guy, he's an alcoholic, and they're like, wait a minute, maybe H2O's a prick. And that's the same thing that happened here. And this time H2O leaned into it, whether intentional or not. And he's probably gonna say he didn't, but he did, coming out with the code green entrance. Like, that is such a slap in the face to your friend who is his very premise for attacking you was doing that shit. And that is not a babyface move, but it all worked out in the end because Baker beat him, and it's such a long time coming for Baker. It was a feel good moment for sure.
He beat him with a rocket kick, which is hilarious. Theo thought
so many layers to that.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, especially like for someone who's, I feel like I've known Baker since he was a little kid, and he's like grown up in front of like our eyes. But like, it was great to see him come back, get a W. Like they fought hard. Like Baker kicked out of the Riptide, and like I love that you pointed out Harvey's choice of like attire and music, Jake, because I was like, that made me think like, oh, he really is like a jerk. Even though I already know H2O is a jerk, but like he really is, and that
he's Cody.
It just all played out great.
It's fucking Cody Rhodes.
Definitely.
Well, usually we look at him and like, this guy's a fucking idiot, but this time it felt like he was intentionally being an asshole. Usually he's just like accidentally an asshole because he has the IQ of the Celsius summer, but the dude this time actually felt like he was leaning into it. So I'll give him props for that, but I'm not giving him props for anything else because he could go anywhere else for all I care, and I wouldn't miss a beat.
Yeah, I give it four hoots. That's my rating now, the hoot rating. I give it 4 hoots. I liked
fair.
it. It was a good fucking, and again, it didn't overstay its fucking welcome. Mina, the Mina V video, which we did commentary on. Text was annoying the way it was kind of laid out, but I guess the general premise is that Mina is summoning the version of Furiosa, and Mina is from I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Mina's from the future, so she's part of the Tomac Alliance. She's part of the Tomac Alliance. If there's not a P3 with Mina V, I'm gonna be annoyed. So hopefully we get that, because now that's pure P3 canon at this point, honestly. And Magic Empire. So decided to bring out Furiosa, which is the alter ego of Heather Angelo, to this whole fanfare. Nice little event. Didn't get much of the respect or love it should have gotten, but I guess these people have recency bias. But I'm surprised it wasn't violence, but I guess you can't always have violence, even on pay-per-view. I think it did what it had to do. Solid segment, a little long, but mostly because of the exposition and the music stuff, which could be cut down. But other than that, not bitching. Show was still short. Jake.
I actually don't know off the top of my head what the last time is that we saw Furiosa, but she holds a special place in my heart because of the Valkyrie feud from the end of 2018 going into 2019. And the whole, like, she was a big part of Castianity becoming a thing. Like, when you think of Castianity, you want to think of the latter half of the run, but that doesn't happen unless it gets off the ground with the initial part with the ghosts and with Cass's world title run and Furiosa and Alexa Hayes. So there's a lot of the stuff from before that she had a big part in. I do agree that it didn't get much of the respect that it had, and a big part of that is just people just don't really know because, again, consistently inconsistent. It's, you don't have a lot of room to explain some of that story. So when it happens and pops up, the people that were there for it are appreciative, but there's not too much in terms of referencing that people would have read up to this point who are new. So it didn't get a huge pop, but it's adding a different dynamic to the Mina Heather thing that I would have preferred, honestly, if Heather would have just come out as Furiosa. Like, that would have popped me more. The introduction of Mina saying, I did this, that was like, whatever. But the match is going to be good. And Mina, especially with the momentum she has after that win over Blaine last week, if she can beat Furiosa, she is maybe better than Marissa at this point.
Nate.
Yeah, I think Jake hit it on the head. It's been so long since we've seen the character, and we just had this conversation. Like, if you haven't been here, or you don't go back and look at stuff, you're not gonna know. So, like, it was cool to see. I'm looking forward to the match, ladies' night. Like, it's just ladies' night. It looks like it's gonna be like a hell of a show. Without even like having to really do anything. It's just like,
yeah, we're awesome. It's basically we're awesome.
I don't know.
I don't know how we do it. We're just we're really good at what we do, and apparently, well, maybe more people will learn that one day, but maybe they'll do it when I'm gone. Who knows? Oh, before I forget, why was Anthony Baker getting a title shot?
Let's not. Somebody said that. I don't know if it was in the Twitch chat or the VP yesterday, but I think his exposition that's why hype videos are so great. Because if you were wondering who Anthony Baker is and why he has history with H2O or why he should have a big important match with him, there you fucking go. He laid it out right in front of you. They had a match at Resolution 5 years ago. They've had this friendship that has been the core of all of H2O. It could have been Anthony Baker in a different timeline that has all of these accolades, and I did my best on commentary to point that out, but
we both did.
God, don't ask dumb questions. Exactly.
No, it's because whatever. So moving along, we have Marissa versus Valkyrie. Marissa doesn't get the credit she deserves for being awesome, and it bugs me. She was not wearing pants, but it was close enough.
Wholeheartedly.
I don't know. I saw some of the comments and the thing, and I was getting annoyed with these fucking people. Like, come on, man, really? Like she wasn't wearing thottery for this match, and the whole expensive. I like. So Valkyrie's Valkyrie. When Valkyrie started, Valkyrie was like kind of a pushover in terms of gameplay. But now Valkyrie is fucking shit. Check your punch your ticket mad quick. So I don't think Marissa had the artillery to take it to Valkyrie. However, that actual match was really fun to watch because I don't think Marissa's optimized in any capacity, but Marissa was just pulling out all kinds of fucking dope shit. Like Marissa was actually kind of wrestling and doing rest holds and fucking counters and all kinds of shit. That poor fucking moonsault that ate shit. Whatever. What was it? Moonsault or something? But she just died.
It was like a corner springboard that just didn't do anything. It almost turned into its own double down.
Would have fucking connected, we would have lost it. But that's what happens when you just you go for it. But yeah, man, that was a really good fucking Marissa match, and shots to Marissa. That I think the match delivered what it had to deliver, given the I would say Valkyrie does what Valkyrie does. Told a good story, pretty for the most part, even until the end. Like no one changed color until maybe the last quarter of the damn match, and then that's when it was kind of put to bed. So I dug it. It was a good match. It was a fun time, and fucking one and done. And Valkyrie celebrates and gets fucking dropped on her cabeza by Marissa, which is par for the course. Fuck you, bitch. It was great. Theo, what you think?
I think the quote is like, it's like really expensive to look this cheap or something.
Yeah.
Like that quote
was
amazing. And that sums up like Marissa, like the presentation. It's come a long way from like the total thottery in the beginning to the character we have now. And even like the in-ring stuff, like having those like wrestling moves
those
in
are fucking really good.
It was cool to see. Yeah, it was great. And then Valk is Valk. And I thought like the match played out how it should. Valk gets a W, but Marissa keeps her heat.
Yeah.
Gets her in the end anyway. Valk doesn't learn. Like, we got to hire somebody to just grab Valk and carry her away after a win.
So have Cassidy fucking do it. I'll save you.
That's Cassidy's new job.
No, Marissa, no.
Yeah, good match.
Try to kick. Jake, thoughts?
Yeah, and Max said it in the Twitch chat. I was about to talk about your comment. You said she doesn't get the credit she deserves, because I completely disagree with that. The people like me and Kent, obviously, we will stand Marissa to the end of the time. And staff chat, you see us all the time, and then VP, whatever. But she is also a really shitty heel. Like, I mean, to a point. A lot of people, I was booing Valk because I was just, bantering, and I got the whole Terra thing going on. But from an out of character perspective, everybody was wanting Valk to win because that's just how it was. This was exactly how it should have been. Like, Marissa was a piece of shit. She is not at all a character that needs to be dominant in the ring. She has her own presence outside of any kind of wrestling prowess. But that's what made her use of the technical moves so interesting, because the whole thing that Marissa has always been shit on for is that she can't do, she's not good in the ring, she can't do this. So she took that criticism and turned it into a real, like, the way that she was telling the story in the ring, doing the sharpshooter. When are you gonna see Marissa do a sharpshooter, doing the rings of Saturn multiple times? Some of the technical moves she was doing,
Fucking gorilla
worked.
press, that was amazing.
Yeah, they played into the story, but she was still Marissa, and then you hit that springboard, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is still the girl we know and love. She's a great heel. I criticized her heel turn because it was abrupt and made no sense with the QC Connect and the Alex Asher thing, and it just fell out of nowhere. But you're not going to be a face against Valkyrie, and you also can't pass up the opportunity to get the Valkyrie rub. Valk is too good, and just like what happened to Tara at Summerside, the baddie lost, and they lost in the right way. I almost made the joke in the viewing party that it's funny she would slide back into the ring and attack Valkyrie afterwards, just like Tara did, because the feud started by copying literally everything Tara did by coming out with Valkyrie's music and everything. So, but everything in between that with the video work, Valkyrie said it in the Discord chat. Just it was top notch. It's deserving of all the praise that it gets, and I'm not going to get mad at people booing her. People giving her a reaction, whether it's positive or negative, is what she is trying to do, and she nails it on the head every single time. The future of OCW, if she sticks around, win or loss, it doesn't matter to me. Reminds me of Ashley Moore when she was new, honestly. Like, not around in the chat a ton, but you can tell just by watching the matches and watching the shows that she's paying attention because of the things that she does. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, that would probably be me if I was an actual person in OCW. I wouldn't say shit to nobody. I'd just be quietly toiling away and seething at certain people. But yeah, because that's how I am. So I get, what's the next? Is the next thing? Do we go directly to the Quartz hype package, Quartz versus Booby? That's the next thing. That's the next video. Yeah. Almost missed that one because someone likes to send in videos at fucking 2 a.m. on a past a due date. But thankfully we didn't miss it. Good fucking video. You can talk about, actually, I'll get Nate's thoughts and then you can talk about it because it's your fucking video.
Sure.
So Nate, thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm just like, this dude always comes up with something new. And it's like, at this point, I'm like, I'm not even going to try to keep up or try to do anything fancy because Jake is just on another level with it. Like, I was like, how it fit with the music and everything. And just doing like the dual things and like the old character with the new character. Like, it was great. Nothing. Chef's kiss to that.
So that being said, why does Bobby have a title shot, Jake? Talk about the
Listen,
video.
I have to defend Bobby even less than I do Anthony Baker. Anybody who knows anything about anything knows that Bobby Mineo is a fucking legend, and he should be in the Hall of Fame already. I'm glad he's not, because that means he didn't have Brazil, but works out for me, bud. The minute I arrived here and read my first Bobby RP, I'm like, okay, I gotta do something with this dude. And that's like, we had the press conference that I put together, but he wrote all of that copy. Like, he did most of the text on that. I pitched him the idea to come back at Consequence. He was all for it. He's been a treat to work with. He's another guy who's not in the chat all the time, but dude, the guy goes hard at everything he does, and I had no problems with it. Just to touch on what you said about submitting it late, miserable week where I had to call 14 matches and render 14 matches and also try and edit not only a show opener but also my hype package in the same week. It was not fun for me, so I'm sorry that I did not submit it sooner, but it was finished Friday night and I submitted it Saturday morning, or Thursday night and Friday morning, whatever. But that aside, the premise of the video should be pretty obvious. Bobby, his whole career, has had this thing where he's in his own head and he's like, we'll go watch the video. He's running from his shadow, and he's always got that in the back of his mind. And anybody who knows anything about Quartz knows that that's kind of the same thing. So using the old characters based on when Bobby and Quartz interacted previously, I used some action clips of when they fought before as well, when they were both in much different situations. Bobby was Pride champion, and I was still in CQC as the tag champion. So I did what I could with the video, and I'm glad people liked it.
I dug it. I like the premise of the duality shit. That's the thing. See, you listen to a song and you build a video around the song. I do the opposite because I'm fucking psychotic.
I do. That's 100% true. And when we get to Nate and Russ video, I want to address that part too.
Sure. Okay, so the OCW Championship, Bobby Manio versus G2 Courts. Fucking Bobby and that. Oh, also the Marissa Valkyrie match gets 3.5 for maybe 3.5 hoots. But
3.5 hoots.
3.5 hoots. So the OCW title match, didn't hate it. Bobby's Bobby. Like, I kind of wish Bobby would have put a different colorway on. That's the only thing that pissed me off.
He did.
Did he? I didn't notice. I thought it was
orange. It was orange and white.
Instead of
he
white
usually
and
wears
orange?
orange and black.
Oh.
No, orange and black is usually. If you go back and watch the Riot match, he's wearing the orange and black. But it was different. He had one made for the paper. It just wasn't that different. It wasn't like mine. Like mine was such a crazy
yours
change,
looked kind of like his, and yours was fucking
Yeah.
amazing. Yours is very final boss level shit, which is like, Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck. So the match itself, Bobby in that super kick, the first one, once he missed the first one, in my head, I'm like, get that shit out of here. I know you said that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I didn't see Bobby winning this in any capacity just because, but the fact that he just winded up getting 3 super kicks in a row, it's just wrestling. When you have wrestling moments like that, I love that. That was my favorite. And he went for the 4th one and you fucking killed him. Like, once he hit you with the 3rd one, you're like, fuck you. Oh God, Theo, what did you think?
Yeah, same thing. Like, I feel like most people assume that Quartz is gonna win, but in the back of your mind, you're like, Bobby has a chance. You never know what can happen. And then it was like, Quartz seemed to have like a lead the whole match. You're like, okay, and then Bobby just started hitting kicks and hitting moves. And you're like, does he have a chance? Does he have a chance? And then Quartz finally like cuts him off. As soon as he has a chance to end it, he ends it. And he does what he's been doing. Carrying the logo.
Carrying the logo. Jake, your thoughts on your own shit? Put yourself over, I guess.
No, I'm not going to do that. But it's funny to watch the matches back when they go. It's funny to watch the matches back when they go live, because my mindset is so different when you're there. Because I was up a lot of reversals the whole time, but the way that Bobby plays, and which is the way I play too, the way I prefer, is he just doesn't give a fuck. He'll just go for it. So like the expectations of what I expect to see when I'm playing somebody is out the window. So he's just going to go for it. I was up 3 reversals to 0, and he was still hitting me with moves because I was expecting him to like play more passive. He's like, no, I'm just going to super kick you in the face. And okay, fine. It happened to work out that he tried multiple super kicks at the beginning, and I knew they were coming in character and out of character. I knew that was his game plan, so I backed up, let him miss, suplexed him into oblivion, and then once we got into it and I was like more flustered, he was actually landing him. And it's very funny that at the end he goes to the well one too many times. If you watch the end of the match, just like Valkyrie Marissa, like it was closer than the score indicated. He may not have hit a liberation frequency. I didn't kick out. There wasn't all that. But he had 2 reversals and I had 0. If he reverses that Black Phoenix, things are bad for me. So I gotta wait. But that's why you go for the win, man. That's why you don't dick around with trying to bait reversals, whatever. You just go for it. And our match was not as long as what I'm calling right now as match of season 16, which came after us. But I don't regret a single bit of the Bobby Mineo feud, and hopefully it entertained everybody else as much as it entertained me. One more off the bucket list, boyo.
You know, the funny thing about that match is that if I hadn't been diligent, I would have killed the stream. Cause actually, why would, there's no point in doing that. Long story short, I had a version of that match that was 5 minutes of dead air, and I almost didn't catch it after I uploaded it. And then when I caught it, I asked Jake about it, and he was like, first he kind of tried to blame me, but then oh yeah, I see it, tee, but I fixed it. There's not really.
No, I did. I asked if you had the wrong file because I'm like, why would that ever happen? I went back and watched it, and in my editor, if you have like a piece of the video way later, then it will render the full thing. And I thought I left the OCW logo that covers up the gamer tag back there, but I didn't. So I'm like, why would that happen? I have no idea why that happened, even to this very moment while we're talking.
Yeah, it was 5.
Anyway, it didn't air. So
yeah,
you being vigilant, this is why you do what you do, and
like
you make this team work, because I'm a failure.
Like a psychotic person. So we had the North American. Well, we're gonna wrap it up soon. We had the North American Championship. What you call it? The North American Championship title reveal. Good old. We have a North American Championship, and it is the number. I think it was the number 10 choice. That it's. I don't remember. Yeah, it's number 10. But yeah, the good old white straps.
Sounds right.
So, I can't. I said international North American Championship. Goddamn. So, what is that? I don't really know what to say about that. Basically, what do we do with that? I'm happy for. I wish it was the black one because we already have a white title, but now we have a white international strap and a white North American strap, I guess. So I guess in that essence, it works. I hope. I don't know. The belt looks good to me. Who's lost that anyway? Do we know? Do we remember?
It's Valk's other one, I think. Valk had the one that got the black strap, which was the same thing, and then it was white. I am of two minds on it because I said from the very beginning that I hate the thick strap, and I thought that what was going to happen, since we're calling it the North American Championship, that people were going to try and do the NXT thing where they make it a thick strap. I was not a fan of that. I don't hate that it's white though, because if like all of our women's titles were white and this one was randomly white, I would hate it. But that's not the case. Like we have our mid-card Turmoil title. I say Turmoil, but it's really fluid right now, our roster. But the other one, the international title, that's white. So this one, it makes a lot of sense that it would be white. So you got two world titles that they stand out. Then you got the two mid, which are both white, and then the tags. Like it works for me. I don't know. What do you think, Nate?
It wasn't my first choice, but like I didn't want the white strap, but like the belt itself looked really cool. I didn't mind like the thick strap, but like it was cool, and I just appreciate like Dupree, like for the like video that he did, because he threw in that jab about RD Money. And he's talking about former North American champions. And the story is, for those that don't know,
Yeah,
that's the one title RD Money never won.
I know.
That he always wanted. So
Yeah.
that was hilarious to me.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's fucked up. That's mad fucked up. But yeah. So now we have a North American Championship. Maybe if we have a game that RD likes, he might come back to win that shit and fulfill his legacy. So anyone who's new here and isn't aware, RD Money has never been a North American champion. So if he ever comes back as a legend and maybe shows up for the North American Championship against whoever the fuck the North American Championship, maybe that might be why. Maybe. Just saying. Motherfuckers. So moving on. And the main event video. I'm assuming Theo. So Theo, talk about the video that you made.
I figured since me and Russ were doing this, I should try and do something. So I just tried to gather something together in my off time from teaching the children. It was just,
helping the kids.
I wanted to throw in, I just wanted to throw in like the stuff that happened during the feud for anybody who missed anything, and just throw in some moments throughout the year that we had leading up into it and just meshing it together.
I think it worked, and you made the last minute change because the first one I caught, but I honestly, 100%, I was just too exhausted and didn't care enough to edit it out. So I was like, whatever. But you caught it and you fixed it, so I was like, thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a little menu, but it was rectified, taken care of. Jake, what did you think about the video? Because you said you had something to say about it.
I did. Well, Nate made a point to when he was talking about mine to say that, you know, every time I have a video, he's like, oh, he'll always figure something else out, or he'll always do this or that. I feel the same way when I watch other videos. I'm blown away by stuff like that. And it's maybe I'm just too close to my own stuff to appreciate it in the same way. But when I see other people put something together, even if it has crudeness, like Baker's thing, if I made it, I would have taken out all the HUDs. I would have made the transitions a little smoother. I can nitpick stuff, but the fact that he was able to put all of that in there and it was still important and still stood out, that plus a million is what I got from the Nate Russ Cole one. You got all of the disposition. You got everything plot-wise that you needed to know from that in one succinct package. And it's just a different style. Like, it doesn't always have to be an Empress video or a Mugen video. Like, it's its own style. It stands on its own legs. One thing that, as an editor and knowing this game the way that I do, like, that I appreciate it and I'm probably going to steal, is they took a clip where they went to the video editor and they took Russ Cole walking up to pick up the microphone. They just changed the camera angle and put it in slow-mo, and just the back shot of his Dominion jacket walking up to the microphone. It's such an ingenious thing to do. It's so simple, but moving the camera around and using that specific cut scene, I watched it immediately, went, oh, that's fucking great. So like the little things like that make me appreciate it that much more. So people that appreciate my stuff, I am happy, but every time anyone does anything, I see little nuances and whatever, and if it gives any kind of context to the story in the match, it's A+ in my book. Keep it up.
Dug it completely. That takes us to the fucking match. Oh boy. So I guess the Quartz, I was gonna say Brock, the Quartz. Wow, I'm not that drunk. Quartz Bobby. I'm gonna give 3. What's the one that's higher than a half?
0.75.
3 and a
2
quarter.
3/4.
3/4. Yeah, 3. Not 3 and a half.
3 3/4.
There you go. That
3
one.
and 3/4.
3 3/4.
3 3/4 hoops. So we have the main event.
Look at me.
Yeah. Thank you for helping me bury you. So we have the main event. Jesus fucking Christ. My only complaint about the main event is Russ on with the Pride title. But you just listen to me, sensation. This is not about the Pride title. Yeah, I know, but you're still champion, so come on with your title. That's basically it. That's my only complaint. Honestly, that was a fucking match. And that was a fucking match. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about that. And maybe it's because I like Russ Cole and Nate Ortiz. Maybe I'm biased. Yeah. Oh, I'm super biased. Yeah, no, it was a good fucking match. It was a match. It was basically what FPR is supposed to be. Nobody was sticking on reversals. It was like, it reminded me of what's that? The one from yesterday. El Parker and Tony just going for it.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is in this one, there was counters for a lot of shit, because fucking dog, like, just there was so much shit that when he fucking whiffed that spear, my heart dropped. I was like, oh no, that motherfucker flew halfway across the ring and missed. Russ is like, oh, not today, Nate Ortiz. I was like, oh no, dude. He busted out the fucking the Blade Walker, he fucking brought back the third alarm and shit. I can't fucking Jake expose upon this match.
Expand, I will. And as usual, to play up to the gimmick that you feel that I am, I do disagree with you about coming out with the title. They made it clear from the jump, this is not about the Pride Championship. Rust, very importantly, defended his championship multiple times before this show, so it doesn't feel like he's, getting it out here or anything. This is bigger than the title, and it sucks to say that for the title's prestige, but it's fucking Nate Ortiz, man, so get over it. The match itself was unbelievable, and there's not a lot you can do to control the competitive thing, the kicking out. Like, I can sit here and wish up and down that, my opponents would kick out and I'd kick out twice. You can't control that. This is an example not only of the stars aligning from the comp perspective, but also them aligning in what each Nate and Russ chose to do, because all of the callbacks, all of the references, you got all these Tiberius Dupree things coming into play. They didn't redo anything either. Like, throughout the whole match, there was no part where, like, they would do it. Nate didn't hit a spear and then pick him up, and they just replayed the first part of the match until the next finisher happened. That was a new segment every single time. They did different shit at every variation of the match. There were, I think, 4 total kickouts. He had Rust on the spear, 2 Carcosis for Nate. If you want to count the third alarm, I will agree with you there, because that was his finisher for the first 3 years of his career. It's not recently, but when he popped it out, you can hear me on commentary. I go, oh God, because that's like, I'm so attached to that move. But and then Nate kicks out of that. It was a perfect storm. And this is why trying to do things that are contrived or artificial doesn't work, because we can tell. And when it's contrived or artificial, we're going to shit on it, because you have to just let it happen. If you know what you're doing from a moveset perspective and from a gameplay perspective, and you fight to win the match, matches like this will happen. And this is probably the best match I've seen since Lucian 13, maybe. It's one of the best matches I've seen since I got here. It's absolutely the match of the season for season 16. And just to end it off, for the silver medal match for season 16, one of you had to be second place, and Nate Ortiz, I couldn't be more proud that it's you, my man.
Oh my God. I hate you.
How does
So,
that? How does that even work like that?
Well, it's very simple. I whooped Russ Cole's ass twice. I
Uh-huh.
whooped Nate Ortiz's ass twice, and then they fight each other. So they got to figure out who's second best. Makes sense to me. Also, I love both handlers. Out of character, they're just you can't. If you have the opportunity to ever work with either one of them, you should do it. And if you say no, then you're a fucking loser.
Well, you probably wouldn't be fucking ass, but yeah. What you call it, Nate? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm just really happy it turned out how it did, because, and this is like a little behind the curtain thing, that was the second go because I screwed up the first one and I ended the match early, and we were going out at each other really hard the first time, and what we ended up with on the show was even better than what we had the first time that I screwed up.
So you redoed?
It wasn't a redo because we never. It was like the match was over in like 8 minutes, ended on like orange because I accidentally tapped him out. Like,
Jesus Christ.
so it wasn't even like we were done with the match or anything. It was just like, this is going back and forth. And then it was just like, no. Like, oh my God. And then,
come on, Nate.
Oh
Amateur hour.
Right? And then we ended up with what we ended up with what was gold. So
Oh my
thank
God.
goodness I did screw it up, because it ended up even better. Like, the fact that I kicked out of like the first finisher, I was expecting. I'm like, I go into the match. I got resiliency once. I can get hit with one finisher, and then I can't get hit with anything else. And I kicked out Brazil. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can relax a little bit. And then,
When you kicked out at one, I almost shit my pants. I was like, oh, he's fucked. Rust is done now. This is Nate is in 2006 mode. Nobody's saving him from this.
yeah,
Oh
and then
my God.
I go right back and hit the spear, and Russ kicks out at one. I'm like, this fool. And then I reverse his finisher, and then I hit him. I get him. I'm like, okay. And he kicks out again. I'm like, what's in the stars are aligned? Like, what am I supposed to do? And then when he pulled out the thing, like the callbacks to all the debris, he did Dupree's finishers and that stuff. But Russ was smart enough to even add the move that Dupree tapped Nate out with.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I know you were pissed. I know.
Oh yeah,
Kent was.
I was like
screaming.
audible.
Kent
Yeah,
was
audibly
screaming.
was like, no, you fool, you're not getting me this way.
Yep. I called it out immediately. I said it's Ride 500 all over again. I'm like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah, it was perfect storm of everything, and then like it just ended how it ended. Like, it's one of those where you're happy win or lose, how it goes down, and then we wanted to like end it at the end how we did with the little Dominion exclamation point, because we wanted to make it clear that we still got a little bit more in that orange to squeeze out of Dominion. Like, we're not done yet. We're gonna still be around for a little bit longer.
That was a fucking.
Sorry for everybody else.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be miserable. That was a great match. So I'd probably give this 4.5 hoots. 5.
No, stop it. Are you out of your mind? It's 7. It's over 5.
Relax.
If anyone were to give it under 5, they would be out of their mind. If you don't want to go over 5, I understand, because the Meltzer meme, whatever. But it's got to be 5. There is no better OCW match. You cannot do it. It's impossible. I am the lesser CQC member. There's no doubt. Rust is the guy. He's the one. I had my match interrupted. I got my double Black Phoenix, but nothing ever that I will do will match what I just watched at Summerside.
All right.
It was perfect.
Because
in my opinion.
you know, Jay's biased. Listen to me. Listen to me. Mr. Sensation, you are biased.
Are you trying to make yourself feel better by unbiasing, by giving Nate a lower score he deserves? Because that's fucked up. This dude and Russ Cole, it was amazing.
Yeah, no, it's I know, because I'm the biased guy. No, that shit's a 5 to me, but I'm biased. But yeah,
there you go. Make it 5 then.
It's fucking 5. Suck my dick. It's fucking 5.
Thank you, Rusty, for being a great hand to work with.
Yeah, for carrying this fucking guy, Goldberg.
Yeah, carried me. I do nothing. I've never put on a 5-star match ever. No match of the years ever.
Just retire. You're
Yeah.
gonna come back and he's gonna come back and kill me, and this is good. I just want you to go away.
I don't elevate anybody.
Nope.
I just
Nope.
put myself over all
Yep.
day.
Yep. Just move over, new stars. It's 2021. Nate Ortiz is main eventing fucking 5-star matches by SJ, and it's fucking disgusting. It's
Yep.
disgusting.
Just,
So I give it 5 hoots. I give it 5 hoots. So matter of fact, before we wrap up, let's go back to the well real quick so we can do this properly. So steel cage match out of 5, I'm giving it 3.5. What do you guys say?
3.5 is fair. Yeah.
Nate.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
3.5.
Moving on. 3.5. The triple threat with Frosser, Owen, Derek. I'm going between 3.5 and 3. I'll go with 3 because I'm negative Nancy. You guys.
No, it's better. I'm gonna say 3 3/4.
Okay. Theo.
I think I was gonna go 3.5 for it.
So we'll meet at 3.5 because I said 3. He said 3 3/4, and Nate said 3.5. So we'll meet at
That's
3.5.
literally the mean.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yep.
Fuck it. Democracy, because I'm not the be all end all. Horse versus fucking wow. Horse versus Iceman. Why is my brain not working? I want to give 2 2.25.
I'll give it
Jake.
2 3/4. It was still fun. I'll give it 2 3/4. It wasn't a 3. It's just below a 3.
Theo.
2.75. Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
so
2
we'll go,
3/4.
well, that's 2, so we'll go 2.75. Baker versus H2O 3.25. Theo.
4.
4.
4 is
He's
have it.
good.
We'll just do it. We'll do it with the voting system. 4. Okay.
The 4s have it.
I'm not gonna fucking argue because I don't know anything. I'm old and stupid apparently to these motherfuckers. Marissa versus Valkyrie. I'm giving it 3.5.
Give it like a 3.5.
Okay.
I mean, that's gonna have it. I was gonna say 3, but 3.5 is fair.
Okay. Yeah, 3.5. Fine. Quartz versus Booby. 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
3. Yep, 3.5, 3 3/4, somewhere in there.
And fucking Nate. 6 stars.
Yeah, infinite. Doesn't
Star.
get it off the scale.
And hold up. So we can be fair. Da-da-da. Hold up. We have a bonus round. Give me 1 second. Night 2 of Summercide 2021. I had to save a playlist because I was cleaning it up because I fucked up the playlist. So to be fair, let me pull up fucking the other one, night 1. I want to pull up night 1 and do the ratings real quick, and then we can just wrap it up and get the fuck out of here. Pull up the playlist. Where the fuck is it? Summerside Night 1. Okay. Night 1's still fresh in our head. So tag team title, I'm giving it a 3. Tag team title.
Give it
Yeah,
a 3.
3.
3?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Colby, well, the Telos thing, I'm giving it 2 3/4. The 75% one, 2 and whatever. Jake.
That FPR break haunts me, but let's. I'm going to be controversial and ignore the FPR break and say 3.5.
Okay, Nate.
I got like 3.25.
So we'll even up at 3 because I went super low.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, Tucker versus Max Edwards. I want to say 3.25 to 4. I was thoroughly entertained, but I might be biased. So
It's the same thing though, right? Like
Wait.
if you're taking the FPR break into account, then you have to lower it.
Okay.
If I'm not taking it into account, I'll say 4.
Okay, so we'll do 3. I'm doing 3.25. What are you doing, Jake?
4.
Okay, Theo, what are you doing?
3.5.
3.5. So low.
3.5.
We'll go with 3.5 middle because it's fucking us. Oh wow, this is all discombobulated. Safety first. 3.25 to 4 for me.
Jesus.
I want to say 4 because I was fucking laughing nonstop and I was entertained, but it's probably because it was a garbage match. So I'll take it to Jake, who's the serious one.
4.25.
Wow.
Is my vote for this one.
Wow.
It was so entertaining. It's like at the end of the day, you don't have to be Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega to get a high rating. It's fucking 4.25. It was super fun.
Wow. Theo, what'd you say?
I was gonna say like a 4. Well, I can go up to 4.25. Like it was good.
So if you're going
I was
4.25,
entertained the whole time.
so if you guys are both going 4.25, and I have fucking like a 3.5, it's 2 beats me. So you're sticking with the 4.25, Nate?
Yes.
I am, yeah.
All right, fuck it. So we'll do 4.5. Fair.
Wait, what?
Wait,
How does that work? We both gave it 4.25, and you gave it lower than that. How are you going up?
I'm going up because wait, 4.5 isn't 4.25? Isn't 4.5 lower than 4.25?
4.25 is less
No,
than
4.25 is
4.5.
4.25. 4.5 is
Oh.
4.50.
Oh, hey man, I fail math a lot. That's in the law.
Yeah,
Look it up.
clearly.
All right, so I'll give it a 4. Oh no,
Hey,
fuck
guys
it.
said fractions, B.
4, yeah, 4.25, 4.25 or 4. I can't. I'm tired. Okay, moving on. Parker versus Tony, 4.5, easy.
4.5. Yes. Yep.
Yes.
I'm same right there.
Why not 5,
Mhm.
Jake?
I don't think it's an insult not to have 5. They had a couple moments like Parka didn't kick out of a couple things. It's really not an insult. Like that goes back to what I said before. You can't always control the comp aspect of it, and that's okay. 4.5, given what they were presented, they did a phenomenal job.
Okay.
If like Parker would have kicked out of Eye of London and then hit Tony with the finisher and he would have kicked out, it jumps up a little bit more just because of those
Yep.
moments. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, he ate 2 in a row.
But it
All
was,
right.
but it was, as I say, hell for leather. They didn't fuck
For
around.
leather.
They didn't do any bullshit. Yeah, they went for it.
All right, so 4.5, and finally Empress versus Dragana. I want to go 4.25. No, the one. Which is the one that's 4.75? Which is that one? What's that one called?
4 3/4.
That's one. That's the one I'm going for. 4.75. Jake.
I mean, if I'm taking the story into account, I'm going 5. But if I just isolate the match, I'm just gonna even it out with the CCW match at a 4.5.
I go 4.5 as well.
So 4.5, and I go for it. All right, so we'll go 4.5 then. Cause I did 4 3/4, and yeah, I both did half. So fucking whatever. If Ken was here, then we could argue. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I guess someone should post those if you could remember from the podcast. So maybe people could argue about that. But yeah,
Well, it'll be archived. So
yeah,
it's fine.
those are the official staff ratings. Hoot. So I want to thank you everybody for listening to this horseshit for the past 60 minutes. We appreciate you greatly. We'll be back September 10th.
Can I plug Rumble Grounds real quick?
Go ahead, plug Rumble Grounds.
Yeah. Hey, so we got the commercial on the stream if you were there, but we have a break next week. So canon TV shows, Turmoil, Riot, those are not going to be happening next week. Obviously, there would have been a card already if it was. Instead, we are hosting Rumble Grounds, and to pull back the curtain, I have been working on this for a very long time. Jamie had the idea to also try and work on it. So he's also included. Like he didn't know I was working on it, so he was like, "Hey, let's do this." And now we're collaborating a little bit on it. But all of my work that I've been doing since about Lucian time is going to be in there, and I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be fun. It's like a non-canon silly thing where we can just enjoy our favorite superstars and a whole lot of surprises. So please tune into that. We will see you next Saturday. And then what do we got? Ladies' Night the week after that?
Yeah.
We never stop, bro.
Sadly. We just nonstop. We just kind of like. I did play music over Jake. I'm sorry, Jake. The audio I did when you were talking. So
that's okay.
That's
okay. No, I'm watching the stream. You hyped Rumble Grounds, and that's basically all I was doing anyway. So that's next Saturday. I assume it's going to be a 3 p.m. start. I've already got all the files uploaded, so we should be all right.
Fantastic. So that's basically it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Saturday. Hey, with Scumchester, I don't fucking even know anything about Scumchester. At this point, there's already like 3 events planned post Scumchester, and we've never gotten it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get it.
Can I take a shot?
Sure.
Can I take a shot?
Take a shot.
Hey, you guys scheduled a Scumchester match way early in 2021 and couldn't get it done. I'm one person in scheduled Rumble Grounds, and I'm making it fucking happen. So eat my ass.
Rude. That's a 5-star
That's
reply.
a champion, everyone.
Yeah, that's our champ. Piece of shit.
OCW, baby. Protect the shield. Don't
yeah.
commit to something if you ain't going to do it.
Yeah, motherfuckers. Pass blame. Excuses. That's the best. All right, we're done. Thank you so much. Have a good night.